So I just left work about 15 minutes ago or so, and a couple of days a week where my husband is employed, there's a particular location that's nearby where I work. So on the days he's at that location, which is 1 or 2 days a week, we commute together. Come to work together, I go proceed on to work, then I get off work and I come to pick him up. So I'm sitting in the parking lot waiting on him to get off his shift. And normally I would be watching some ridiculous video on YouTube, but right now I'm recording one for possibly to put on YouTube. So this has been a very weird couple of weeks as far as something's in the air. I'm not really sure what it is. It's beyond the norm. Where I work is in public service, and just to put it in a way that's very vague, I work somewhere where the clientele don't want to have to come to. They have to come to. Unlike, say Disneyland or like, I don't know, Applebee's, where you want to go, they don't want to have to come to where I work. So there's a certain level of hostility that I expect from everybody every day, and that's not what I'm talking about in this instance. A couple of days ago, I had someone wanting me to make an exception for a procedure that this person had to do. This person being a man, let me emphasize that, wanted me just to waive and just make an exception for him. And when I wasn't relenting, because I don't make exceptions for anyone, I follow procedures, because if you do something outside of the norm for one person, you have to do it for everybody. And therefore, what's the point of a regulation, which are there in place for reasons, not just to make something up to make other people's lives difficult. Anyway, when I wouldn't relent, he started calling me Peppermint Patty. Now, I don't get it. Peppermint Patty? Do I look like Peppermint Patty? I don't think so. I remember the cartoon. Anyway, it seems like 9 times out of 10, when the client is throwing a tantrum about some exception not being made for them or attention not being paid to them, it's a man. Not always. Sometimes it's a woman. Like being insulting, coming up with personal attacks, following you around, demanding to speak to you. It's a man, not a woman. So when I left today, I walked past the front counter area where one of the clerks whose afternoon was on the counter, I had kind of overheard the conversation, and the man that was the client wasn't happy with the answer that particular clerk was giving him, who also was a man, telling him come back Monday, do this thing, you could do this thing online, whatever, over the weekend. Client didn't like it, I guess. Wasn't really saying anything to him, though, that I could notice that he was particularly hostile, because men are afraid of other men, and they don't always want to get hostile with other men they're dealing with. Fair enough, because you shouldn't be getting hostile with anyone behind 3 inches of bulletproof glass. And in my opinion, the thickness of bulletproof glass is proportional to how annoying the job is. So our bulletproof glass proves our job's pretty annoying. You shouldn't be trying to get hostile with somebody whose job is annoying. Anyway, I get in my car, I leave. I walk past this man still at the window. Think this situation's getting wrapped up. I am one of those people that could probably be a teacher at a driving school. Like, I try to follow all the rules of driving because I hate to drive. So I even do the whole thing with looking around at the tires before I get in the car. I get in the car, I adjust the mirror, like make sure the mirrors are okay. I crank and let the engine run for a second, because that's what you're supposed to do, and I do it. Well, here comes this man, and he's looking at me as he's walking out the front exit. I have come out the side exit, where the employees are supposed to exit, but not all of them do. And that's just their own personal choice. I choose to follow that rule as well. There's reasons for that. The reason being safety for us who work at this place. In the car, I noticed he's like looking at me, and I thought, well, maybe he's just looking at me with a mean mug because I'm squinting because it's really bright and my eyes are sensitive to the sun. So my face is all scrunched up. So maybe it looks like I'm giving him a dirty look, when in fact I wasn't doing anything of the sort. Looking around the parking lot, make sure I can back up. There's one space in between my car and his truck. So it wasn't like we were next to each other. So it wasn't like he thought I dinged his truck getting in my car because there was a space in between. And I don't ever do that anyway. But it wasn't even that he thought I was mean mugging him or that I dinged his car. He wanted to ask me a question. So he starts walking up to my car and I just hold up my hand and said, I've got to go. Because I've got to go. I'm off work. This guy then throws up his hands and then starts to like walk behind my car. Like he's going to stop me from backing up. But guess what? I was backing up anyway. So then he throws his hands up again and gets into his truck. And I'm pulling out of the lot. I am so tired of male entitlement. Your answer should have come from the clerk, who happens to be another man, and it should have been the end of it. You're not asking me a question, because all he wanted to do probably is start an argument. I just want to be left alone as a woman. And when I say I just want to be left alone as a woman, there's always these other men that are going to say, well, not every guy wants to hit on you. No, that's not even what I'm saying. Men feel like they're entitled to not just to have a romantic interest, but to our time in other ways. Quick question, help me. Like, you literally will watch men, like there's a gas station I go to, or I did, and I'll probably start going to it again once these gas prices are under control a little bit. That's easy for me to get in and out of on the way to work. Then I would tank up once a week at this gas station, right? But there are like unhoused people and people who have substance abuse problems that roam up and down this highway. That's just life. Not afraid of them. It's just reality that I just accept. I'm sad that people have to be unhoused, but that's a subject for another time. But to see that early in the morning when I will get gas, it's like very early, like 6:25 in the morning. So mainly the customers of this gas station are men in the orange reflective vest, because they're stopping there to put gas in their work truck, go in and get their work snacks, their work lunch, whatever. So mainly it's men that early in the morning at that gas station. And 1 or 2 women to every like 10 men customers. For these people to roam up off the highway and pass 2 and 3 and 4 men to walk up to me, and I'm sure this has happened to any other women that have been there that early, to ask for help. You've just passed 4 or 5 men that could have helped you. And my response is, if you need help, call 911. I don't have anything for you. If you need help, call 911. Go inside. I'm sure they'll call 911 if you need help. That's just entitlement. And I don't think in any of those circumstances, maybe I'm wrong, was this man intending on hitting on me, and I didn't think they were intending on hitting on me. They're just entitled to the time of women. Now, occasionally women throw fits and they want exceptions and want you, and then they be offended when you don't do what they want. That does occasionally happen with women. But the majority of the time it's men, because men are entitled, and I'm tired of it. Anyway, everyone have a good weekend.